Hello, everyone. Hi. Hey. Well, let's see. Are we live? A ver, no voy a empezar completamente en inglés. Vamos a empezar un poquito en español, nada más para ver cómo estamos aquí. Debería haber abierto esto todo antes de empezar, ¿verdad? Hubiera sido buena idea probablemente. Esperen un momento, déjenme me cambio de cuenta. Creo que ya salió ahí que estoy en vivo. Ajá. Hola a todos, ¿qué tal? A ver, ya los estoy viendo por acá. Creo que sí están por aquí, ya estoy empezando a ver algunas personas que estaban ya aquí, ¿verdad? Y perdón, a ver, es que siempre fallo, ¿no? El gran streamer, discúlpame. Qué raro que empezó tarde, ¿verdad? Ya sé, ¿no? Súper. Ya ven, chicos, no es un stream de Mr. Salas, sino empiezo tarde el día de hoy, ¿no? Ok. Bueno, pues aquí estamos, como ven. Ok, aquí estamos el día de hoy. Ahora, el día de hoy solamente vamos a hablar en inglés. Ese es el reto, eso es lo que vamos a hacer. Así que voy a empezar de una vez, ¿de acuerdo? Va a ser completamente en inglés, ¿ok? Ahora, denme un momentito. Todo se debería escuchar todo bien, ¿sí, no? Tomamos un poquito de agua, de ugu, y déjenme pongo el chat acá para poderlo leer fácil, porque vamos a empezar a hablar completamente en inglés. Así que, si no saben inglés, pueden quedarse. A lo mejor les sirve para empezar a más o menos darse una idea, ¿no? De cómo alguien que nunca ha vivido en Estados Unidos, no estudié en Estados Unidos y viví en Londres casi por un año, pero eso fue en el 2019-2020. Yo ya sabía inglés, ¿no? Entonces, para que se den una idea más o menos del nivel al que se puede llegar utilizando nada más input comprensible, ¿va? Ok, vamos a hacer eso el día de hoy. Entonces, déjenme ver nada más. All right. So, let's start. So today we are going to do only English. It's going to be an English only stream. All right. So, is everyone ready? Perfect, because I am. Okay. So let's talk about. I'm actually going to kind of spoil the next live and what I want to talk about in the next live. That I think that's going to be really interesting for everyone. So, but yeah, I will spoil that towards the end of the live, not now. Okay. Now, so if you are asking questions in Spanish, I'm not going to answer. So you are going to do it. You're going to ask questions in English or just listen, right? So that's it. Today. It's gonna be a special. All right. It's gonna be a special stream. You know, like just to let you know, like this is my current level in the language, right? And yeah, that's about it. So I don't know. So like I will try to answer questions in English in the chat. I'll try to and I'll tell you a little bit of my story with the language, right? I mean this is the first English only stream, so yeah, I think it's gonna be really interesting, right? Okay, now here we have some questions. Here we have a Neon Soul is asking, "Hi, Mr. Salas, would you say you got a native speaker level?" I don't know, like if you ask anyone like who is a native speaker, they will tell you that you can definitely notice a certain, you know, like a little accent, maybe a lot of accent, right? Whenever I speak, I think that's pretty normal. I think that's the beauty of languages, right? That you carry your own country in the way you speak or you try to pronounce the words. So I think I don't know. I feel it's totally okay, you know. So I wouldn't say I think I'm really advanced in English. I have a C2 level. I mean, I have a paper that says so, but I wouldn't go as far as to say that I am a native speaker level of English. Probably not. And I think most people never achieve that in the language they're trying to learn. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like, maybe I'm very, I'm being really harsh on myself, right? I don't know. I think a lot of people would tell me, yeah, you've got a native like speaking level. Even some native speakers have told me so. But yeah, sure. Okay. Right. So sure. Here we have Juan Sebastian says, "Good evening. You were able to test ChatGPT voice chat. I haven't tried that yet. The thing is, it's really hard to make videos from my phone. I've tried to. I cannot see this. I really cannot see this ChatGPT. Everyone says like that you can talk to with your voice. It's not available for me. I don't know why. So because there's so many ChatGPTs, like so I don't know which one is the right one, right? So yeah, okay. So if you can let me know exactly which one I have to download, that would probably be really helpful. Okay. So so we have a question here. I think I can understand English and speak just basic. I can communicate with the people. I want to learn other languages besides English. I want to learn Dutch. Okay, well, if you want to learn Dutch, you just have to study it. That's about it. That's it. I mean, I don't know. Was that a question? Because I actually didn't notice like the question in there. I've been following you since 2020. Wow, that's a long time. Thank you. I wasn't subscribed at that moment, but you really helped a lot to improve my English skills. So please, would you check over my homework? Your homework. I mean, I am a teacher, but one of the things I don't like about teaching is that you take a lot of your work, you take it along, you take it along with you to your house, and I think that's really annoying. I mean, especially when you have to like grade exams or tests. I mean, it's like long hours that are unpaid, and I think that sucks. That's the only thing I don't like, right? But yeah. So sorry, I'm not into like reviewing homework anymore. At least not during the live, definitely. So yeah, what are you going to talk? I guess about your Japanese progress. Well, my Japanese progress, I don't know. Like I feel I'm pretty much the same right now because right now I'm studying Japanese in order to be able to read it. So I mean, how can I prove that in a video? It's kind of weird, right? So I'm just studying for myself at the moment. I'm learning kanji every day. I'm learning the different readings. I'm trying to read manga. I don't like reading manga, but I'm kind of forcing myself to do so. And yeah, I think I'm doing pretty well. But I'll probably I'll probably come back to you whenever I have like a N2 level, on paper. Maybe that would help. Yeah. But yeah. Okay. Here we have another question. What is the exact Anki deck for Japanese you're using currently? So I'm using two decks for Japanese. I'm using the Refold 1K deck, and I'm using the Genki deck, which is that probably surprises a lot of people, right? Because some people might. I have bad mouthed Genki in the past, right? I don't like learning with Genki. But I have found that learning the kanji and the different reading and what their meanings are, I think that's. I mean, it was really it was pretty useful. Hey, Carolina says, please help me. My grammar is very bad when I try to speak English. What can I do? So if you're struggling with grammar, you're probably thinking too much about understanding and speaking with correct grammar instead of just learning it, as you go, right? But if you're so nervous about it, I would probably just study grammar. Like notice the patterns or the things you say that are wrong. Usually, for instance, if you tend to say, "I didn't took my food with me," right? Which is wrong. Maybe I'm messing this simple past thing a lot. So probably try to focus on one grammar point at a time. And eventually, I think you'll get to improve, right? That's that's my take on that, right? Yeah, it is wrong. I didn't took. That's wrong because the right. So this I didn't took. That's incorrect. You're supposed to say I didn't take, right? So yeah. So let's say you're struggling a lot with that. You probably have to check why that is. That's it. Okay. Right. So here we have another question. When you travel to Japan, have you visited the Detective Conan town? I would love to visit that town. Now, unfortunately, I didn't go on my own to Japan. I had really heavy luggage, and that's like it's best to travel alone, definitely. So I couldn't make the time for that. I took advice from the wrong people that didn't have any like travel experience, and they have only traveled with their parents' money, so they never actually travel alone, right? So I took the wrong advice. So I ended up like not going to the places I would like to go. So yeah, I couldn't go. But next time I go to Japan, I'm actually going to travel there. Like that's like my first place on my list that I'm going to visit. Yep. What's luggage? Luggage. So luggage. This word in Spanish we would say equipaje, right? That's it. Let's see here. Do you also read like newspaper for Japanese, or do you feel that it's too advanced? I should probably, you know what, Linda, I think you have a good point there. I think I'm trying too much to study with manga when I could probably study with the shimbun, right, with the actual newspapers in Japanese. I think you just gave me a really good idea to try tonight. Thank you very much. But yeah, so what here we have. What do you think about starting to speak after 2 years of comprehensible input? After 2 years, I think that's probably too long. I mean, especially if it's like English, I would probably try to speak sooner. I think 2 years is way too long. I mean, why would you wait so long to speak English when it's so? I mean, people would. I mean, don't hate me for this, but I think English is very similar to Spanish, right? So in a way, Spanish and English are quite similar in regards to like the vocabulary, even some grammar. Oh, just a bit, just a tad bit, right? So I would probably try to speak way earlier than other languages, just because of the similarities and the all the cognates and all that stuff, like words that are similar between both languages, right? So yeah, 2 years? No, I would probably try to, I don't know, like 6 months in, probably. Yeah, I think it is. I mean, people are saying it's not. I actually think it is. I actually believe English and Spanish are very similar. Obviously, the pronunciation is completely different, right? El español y el inglés suenan completamente diferentes, right? But I think, in general, I think you can make a case for English being very similar to Spanish, because you have like a lot of words that are so similar. Some grammar constructions are so similar as well. So I think it becomes I don't know. I think it's interesting. Says here, would you say that a test in the best form of assessment? A test? No, Alexa, I think a test is probably one of the worst ways of like to actually check a person's level. It is easier because you have a certain criteria. You have a rubric, right? A rubric? How do you actually say that? Rubric, right? So you have certain points that you can tick, and then if you have enough check marks, right, you pass. So I mean, it's easier to grade, but I don't think it's really helpful for people to realize their actual level, right? I mean, and I'm telling you this as a person who has prepared people for their exams, like for the certifications, right? So, for instance, I have prepared people for the now extinct bullets. I don't know if you know that test. It was called. I think its current name is linguist skill, but it was called the bullets before. And I prepared so many students for that exam, and it's all and those students could barely speak English, right? Barely. So, but I prepared them in such a way that they were able to pass the exam, at least to a B1 or B2 level. Why? Because you don't actually have to know a lot of the language in order to pass an exam. You just have to know what the exam entails, you know, like the questions or the order of the questions, like the how many minutes you have to write the writing part, the writing part, for example. A lot of people don't know that there's like 2 parts, and the first one it's a little longer than the second one, or like vice versa. So I think that's really important for people to realize that certifications like these exams are designed. Sure, if you don't know the language, there's no way you can pass. But if you know a little of the language, you can certainly cheat in order to be able to pass the exam. Because I have done that with so many students. Like for instance, let's say the speaking part of any certificate exam, right? It's always like remember that you are working with a human, right? Like a person is listening to you, and it's giving you so the person is assigning you a level, a grade, right? So if you impress that person, that they are going to give you a higher grade. So it's really important not to answer with, you know, not to answer the questions with like very normal or very, I don't know, simple answers, right? For instance, let's say they ask you, what's your name, right? So I think a lot of people would say, for instance, okay, so tell me your name, please. Oh, my name is Alberto. And I mean, sure, that's, my name is Mr. Salas, right? That's good. That's good English. You're answering the question. It's not wrong. But I mean, why would you say something so simple? You're not impressing the person. You're not showing them your skills in the language. So instead of doing that, I suggested my students, why don't you say, well, I am called Mr. Salas, but my friends call me Alberto. I think I prefer that name. You know, that is way better. Because you're showing off, right? You're showing that your English is not only like, oh, ask me a question and I'll actually answer. No. It's actually way broader, right? So yeah, that's it. So that's just a little tip I have for certificates. Okay. Now here we have Neon Soul says, sometimes I feel like I'm pretty good at English until I face a pretty rare specific or technical term that humbles me. Does that still happen to you, or did you already surpass that stage? No, I think that happens to everyone, even in Spanish, man. Like, I mean, I think I'm pretty good at English, right? I think it's my best language apart from Spanish, which I'm a native speaker of Spanish. So obviously, I'm going to be good at that language. But I feel I'm really confident in my English skills, right? However, whenever I see a word, just like 5 minutes ago, I don't actually know how to pronounce this word. You know, I think rubric, that sounds good to me. I don't know if that's actually correct, but I mean, and that happens. So as long as whenever I was a teacher, whenever I was teaching in front of a class, I usually, whenever I first started teaching, I did feel a little, self-conscious whenever I didn't know something. Right? I think that's pretty normal. So I don't know, like they would say something like, "Oh, teacher, what does that mean?" Or "How do you say that in Spanish?" Or "Why? What's the word for this in English?" And you probably didn't know, right? So yeah, I was humbled so many times, and that still happens to me, right? That still happens to me yeah, even today. So I think if you are pretty I don't know, if you're open to being corrected, you'll never feel bad. That's my take on that. Yep. Says here, I've been studying phrasal verbs with a book. It works for me, but recently I got the Refold phrasal verbs deck, and I don't know if I should go for that book. Okay, so here's a very important thing. If you like the resources you're using, do not stop using them, right? Because if they're working for you, even if they're not the most, the most beneficial or the best resources out there, if they are useful for you, keep using them. For me, it makes no sense. Like if you say, "Oh, I like this book, but now I bought the refill deck, so now should I drop the book I like?" No. Why would you do that? Like if you like that, just keep doing that. All right, that's That's my humble opinion. All right. All right. Let me just drink some water. Okay. Hmm. Could you give me some examples with the word corny? Corny. I mean, corny. That's like a something that's a kind of like old fashioned or very cringy. You know, like oh my god, that's so corny. As in, like that's kind of ridiculous. Kind of. I don't know. I don't know how to say that. What's the word for corny in Spanish? Actually, I don't know. Pasado de moda in Spanish? No. It's more like well, we have a word in Mexico. I don't know if I can use it. Cursi. Is it? Really? Corny. Cursi. Maybe. Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, I have heard corny being used in different situations as well. But isn't there another word for cursi in English? Is it only corny? Hmm. Okay. Right. Well, I mean, I'll trust you guys. I actually don't know. It says here, what kind of mistakes you did when you started Japanese? What kind of mistakes I didn't make? That would be an easier cheesy. Oh, right. Yeah, I think yeah. You're right. I think I'm thinking of the word cheesy, right? Yeah. You're right. I'm thinking of the word cheesy and not corny. Yeah, because cheesy is definitely not cursi. No, wait. I know. Actually, yeah, that's it, right? I actually don't know. Okay, let's see. What does Google say? You see? You see, guys, I have a C2 level in English. I actually have a C2 plus level in English. And even then, sometimes I have no idea what a word is. Yeah, it's cursi, actually. That's kind of weird because I don't know, man. You see, this is what I love about languages. It's just like corny. I've heard corny being used more with like a corny joke, right? Like, oh, he's making corny jokes all the time, which are like, you know, like those jokes that your parents make that are not funny, that are just like very cringy. So I think because in my experience, I have heard that word being used a lot more with corny jokes. I think I'm thinking more about that kind of corny instead of like the cursi thing in Spanish, right? Yeah. Anyway, cheesy. What is it? Oh, cheesy. So cheesy. It's like for me, cheesy is cursi in Spanish. I don't know what does Google say because for me that was the cursi thing. Yeah. Wait, what? Oh my god, that's so wrong. Okay. Well, something cheesy is like something. Yeah, like pasado de moda, anticuado, cursi, meloso. Yeah, that kind of thing. All right. I think so. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Carolina, yes, sure. Please do send the email, and I'll get back to you. Okay, no problem. Thank you. Can you slow down a little bit? I'll try to. Okay, yeah, I'll try to slow down a little bit. Okay. By the way, guys, so far, I think this is going to be a really interesting question. So far, what's the percentage that you can understand me whenever I'm talking? I'm actually curious now. So just type in the chat. Oh, I can. I don't know, like 70%, 80%, 30%, nothing. I don't know. So what is the percentage that you are able to understand now? Like whenever I'm talking to you, let's say. So we have 100%. Ooh, that's nice. Oh, Diana, that's awesome, Diana. Nice, 100%. She says. We have a lot of people saying really high numbers. That's awesome. 50-50. Okay, that's 1%. Well, 1%, but he actually understood what I was saying. Go figure. All right, so I see a lot of people understanding a lot. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Now it says, I think we have a question here. I'm embarrassing. Oh, you mean embarrassed, right? I'm embarrassed when I speak in English because when I was at school, I was bad
speaking. How can I change that? So you were, so let me understand that. So you're embarrassed because whenever you were studying English at school, you didn't speak really well, right? That's the question. I mean, if you were if you were being made fun of, like, sure, I mean, that sucks. That happens. I remember I was also made fun of like a lot of things whenever I was little. So I mean, if that's the case, well, I'm sorry. Like, you just have to get over it. It sounds rude, but that's it. People who make fun of others, they in regards to their language, right, to the pronunciation or something, it's usually people who don't speak the language themselves, at least not very well. Um, so I don't know. I don't know if you guys saw my my reel and my video about this politician in Mexico that she says. I think she said you have to walk the talk during like a presentation or something, right? And but obviously, you know, her accent was very, 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 you know, obvious, right? So she said like, you have to walk the talk, right? So she said that like it's a very a very obvious Mexican accent, right? But her pronunciation was fine because you do have to say walk and talk, right? Yeah, but a lot of people in the comment section, they were making fun of her because she was mispronouncing the words. So I think it's really funny that most of the people who were making fun of that person because of her pronunciation, they didn't speak English at all, right? So it's like, how are you making fun of someone if you don't speak the language, right? So probably the same happens to you. Like, people who make fun of other people because of their pronunciation, they are not really good at the language. I can assure you that, because any person who has gone through the struggle of learning a language, they know how hard it is. They know it's no joke. It's not easy to be able to speak or learn or read whatever another language. So they will never make fun of you. So if you are being made fun of, just ignore them, because they're probably very ignorant anyway. So yeah, that's my suggestions for you. Let's say okay. Says here, how can I understand how can I find understandable content that I like in English? Because what I like is very technical and I don't understand it very well. Well, I mean, that's, to be honest with you, my favorite source for media in any language I'm learning, first of all, is YouTube, right? Carolina, I cannot give you an email here because a lot of people will write me there. So if you just write me to the email that we have, that's better. Thank you. Okay, so what? Sorry, what were? Oh yeah, so I recommend YouTube for like literally any kind of media. Like, YouTube is probably the best. You can find people interviewing other people in the language, and I think that's pretty useful. Yeah. Says here, why I can't understand you at all, but when I watch a TV show, sometimes I need the subtitles because, oh well, that's oof, there's a lot of things. Like, first of all, my accent is not native like, so obviously it's easier to understand a person that has a like a Spanish accent to it, right? It's probably easier. I'm not using a lot of words that are probably a little bit more common that native speakers use. So that's probably also my overall like language level. Whenever I talk, it's probably easier as well. And the second thing is like, well, you are watching a TV show, right? So if you are watching a TV show, that means that you are probably listening to people acting, and whenever people are acting, it's way different than whenever we are just talking, right? Yeah. So yeah, that's it. How do I know when I'm thinking in Spanish? What? Because you have Spanish in your head. I don't know. That's a weird question. So You probably think, how do I know when I'm thinking in Spanish? Well, I mean, this is a perfect example. Whenever I'm talking to you in English, I'm never thinking in Spanish. I'm just like trying to explain myself in English. Now, something funny happens to me. I can speak English easily, right? As you can probably tell, I've been speaking for 30 minutes now. But I don't know if you've realized, but I actually struggle a little. If I want to say something a little bit more like intelligent. So and that didn't happen to me, you know, like whenever English was my only language that I knew, that didn't happen to me. I actually was pretty good at just like, go very, very, very wide in my speech with no problem. But now I think I struggle a little. I don't know, maybe it's all maybe my brain space is being occupied by the other languages and like in vocabulary and stuff. Maybe that's why, I don't know. Also, I have to say, I don't speak English every day. That's another thing. Whenever I was teaching and interacting with people, for example, well, when I was living in London, I talked to people in English all the time, right? Whenever I went to the store or at school. But yeah. No, so now I think I mean, I speak English probably once a week, and that's being like yeah, and that's being kind. Actually, it's probably more like once every other week. So yeah. I don't use English as much, so that maybe that's why I'm struggling more with English. But yeah, maybe, I don't know. But I mean, I do believe that if you actually learn a language properly, you will never struggle to like make it return, right? So for instance, I'm not very good at German anymore. My German is kind of stale, but I met a person who spoke German like a month ago, and I remember I told him, hey, you know what? I mean, well, I don't speak German very well. I know German. I can speak German. I can read German, but I haven't used it for like 2 years now. So I'm probably not very good at it. But hey, you know what? We can try. Let's go for it. And yeah, I could actually talk to them in pretty good German too. So I actually impressed myself. So yeah. Anyway, hey, you know what? It's been 30 minutes. It's been 30 minutes, and I haven't asked you guys for your likes. So if you would do me a favor and give a like to this video, I'm actually going to tell you in Spanish. ¿Me pueden dar un like en este video, por favor? Para que le llegue a más personas. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you very much. Yep. He says, say Irish wristwatch 3 times. Fast, you won't. I don't think I can. Irish wristwatch. Irish wristwatch. Irish wristwatch. Wristwatch. Okay. Irish wristwatch. Irish wristwatch. Irish wristwatch. I think I can do it. Yeah. I think I did it. I think I did it quite well, actually. Thank you for the likes, guys. Thank you for the likes. Let's try to get to 300 likes. I would probably, I would love that. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for the likes. Gracias por los likes, chicos. Okay. Says here, your voice is different when you switch to Spanish. Yeah, I think so. And so, now, Tobias, I think, so whenever I'm trying to speak English, I'm trying to put on an accent too, right? So maybe that has to do with it. I think, just, you know what? I can relax my accent a little, and I will sound way, well, in my opinion, I would sound worse. But I have had some people telling me that I sound better whenever I'm not trying to do the accent, right? So here we go. I'm going to turn off my accent for like 3 minutes or 2 minutes. This is very relaxing because I don't have to think about the accent anymore. This is just me speaking in English, right? But I don't like how I sound because I feel like some of the phonemes I'm using are not correct, right? So yes, it's way more relaxing. It's okay. I think people cannot understand me, but I definitely don't like how I sound. Some people tell me I sound better. I actually don't get it. I actually don't get it because I think I don't sound better. But yeah, some native speakers tell me I sound better. sounds more like me, you know, sounds like, oh, that actually sounds like you, right? But I don't know. I think I really enjoy to put on the accent, you know? You sound good. Thank you. Thank you very much. Can you keep this accent? In my opinion, it sounds better. Wow. Okay. Well, there you go. I don't like how you sound. Yeah. So it depends on the person, right? I think, you know, I mean, obviously, if I speak like this, you can immediately tell, oh yeah, this person is not a native speaker, right? But yeah, a lot of people saying I definitely sound better. Okay, everyone says I sound better. I don't know. But yes. So I don't know. I maybe, you know what? By the way, if you just arrived, this is not how I speak English normally. I'm just like not using my accent, right? But yeah, you're speaking normally. I believe that my problem is that whenever I was learning English, I knew I wanted to be an English teacher, right? So whenever I wanted to teach in front of the class, I know we are very judgmental here in Mexico. So I thought, you know what? If I speak like this all the time, they will say, oh, my teacher doesn't speak English very well, right? So that's why I switched to my other accent. Okay, but okay, so many people telling me that my accent is on point and I'm okay. Well, thank you very much. Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, says like obviously you should speak the way you like, but your warmth and charisma come across when you turn off the accent. That's interesting. I wonder how many native speakers are telling me that, because I don't know. So if you are a native speaker and you think I sound better like this, do let me know, because that's interesting. You know, for me that's interesting because I feel I don't sound better. Yeah, I don't know. I feel. let me turn it on. There we go. It's on now. Yeah, I mean, people telling me I sound way better. I actually don't get it. I'm telling you that sounds better, less nasally. Yeah, I'm actually trying not to be so nasal whenever I turn on my accent, you know. But I do get what you guys are saying. But I don't know, man. I think I'm just like I'm too used to using my gringo accent that it feels weird not to use it anymore. I don't know. Maybe is it tiring to keep the accent? It is though. Yeah. And you'll notice a lot of people who are not native speakers, they will tell you, oh yeah, he sounds way better now. Because I think they are more used to this kind of, oh, that's how English is supposed to sound like. That sounds better because it doesn't sound Mexican, right? I don't know. So yeah. So I don't know. I don't know, man. Yeah. Is it a video in English or I don't know. So yeah. That's a good question by Diana. Where does exactly come? Where does the accent come? The one I'm trying to use. I actually have no idea. I think it's just like a mixture of every single person I've listened to. Yeah. But yeah. It says here, Tomiko says, I have another question. It's about your opinion about a polyglot person. You consider a polyglot person which is learning or that is already speaking different languages. All right, so I think a polyglot, it's a person who is, I think a polyglot is a person who speaks 3 or more languages. And whenever I say speak, I mean like they can hold a conversation in that language, right? So if you are able to hold a conversation in the language for more than 15 minutes, I think you're probably polyglot at that point, right? That's it. Okay. So that's my take on the polyglot thing. Now, the word I despise so much is the hyper polyglot. I really don't like that word. The only person I accept that the only person I see using that word correctly, and because they deserve it, it's language simp. That's it. Any other person who's using that word, I don't know, to describe themselves, to me, it just comes across as arrogant, you know? That's it. Yeah. It says here, agree with chat, no gringo accent. We don't sound like that. Oh man, I sorry. I know you don't sound like this. It's just like this is how I learned to speak, right? This is what my turning on my accent sounds like to me. And some people have told me, yeah, it's good, right? It's you sound good. But yeah, I have had that comment by native speakers that tell me you sound weird whenever you're trying to do the accent thing, right? And I don't know. I think, to be honest with you, I think I'll keep using it because I think I'm so used to it. I think it sounds okay, and I believe that a lot of people in Mexico would agree with me. So here's the thing: you guys are in the States or in the UK, I don't know, but if you ever came into a classroom and your teacher started the class like this. Okay, guys, today we are going to do book page number 3. And after that, we are going to have an activity all together. And we are going to learn present perfect. Okay, ready? Right, let's go. You lose a lot of credibility with them. I mean, I've seen that. I've seen people who are really good at the language, teachers, I mean, but the moment they speak and they have a really thick accent, the students are so turned off by that. And even though my accent, I agree though, it's really fake, it comes across as genuine for these people. I don't know how to explain that, but I mean that's why I do the accent, I think. Okay, so yeah, that's my what's the word for it? That's my excuse. Okay. Yes, but you don't speak that way. When you turn the accent off, you will still speak with perfect grammar and vocabulary. Yeah, I agree, Chad. So I do agree that the grammar and vocabulary. So basically, speaking correctly and with good pronunciation, that's the biggest part of it. The accent is really secondary, right? My point was that so many people are turned off if you are a teacher who doesn't do the gringo accent, right? That's my point, and that's something that you can probably only experience if you ever live in Mexico and you have taken classes here. You see how people are so judgmental in regards of your in regards to your accent or your accent, actually. Yeah, that's it. It says here, could you speak it with a British accent? Man, dialects. I think I have I think I have offended enough people today with my fake gringo accent that if I do the fake British one, that's going to that's going to piss off people, right? I don't know, man. I feel every time I'm trying to do like the accent of another country, I feel like I'm just doing like I'm making like a cartoon of that country's accent. So I don't know, like what can I say? So whenever I was living in London, I remember I could speak a little of the. I remember a little how people talked to me there, how people told me Alberto all the time. I loved it. But I don't know. I think I nowadays I don't know how to do the accent anymore. I can say university because I use that word every day. But yeah, I think I just like I just do the cartoon version the cartoon version of it. I don't know, man. I cannot do it. It's so funny. It's like it's like the same with the like the Spanish from Spain, right? Like water, bottle of water, a bottle of water. Yeah. So I mean, I just offended like half a country probably, right? So I don't know. It's Tuesday, innit? Yeah. No. So I mean, I'll stop it now. Please do not start World War III. I'm just people here in the chat just like making me to do that, right? Yeah, I'm sorry. It sounds very posh. I only hung around with posh people. Only, yeah. Every posh person that I came across in London, they were trying to talk to me. they were like, "Oh, where are you from? Because you sound weird, right?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm from Mexico," and they're like, "What? What?" Because I think they were so used to like Mexicans not being like 190 in height, and like, well, my accent was very American, as they put it. So I think it was really weird. I remember I dated this girl whenever I was in London. I dated her, and whenever we first met, she told me like, I opened my mouth to say, "Hey, hello, what's up? I'm Alberto," right? And she was like, "What the hell?" Because she was so like, "You're not speaking like as I like imagined you would." She was so shocked. And that was like that was our topic of conversation. That was the topic of conversation for about like 2 hours straight up. Because she was like, "How are you Mexican?" she was so like, what, right? How are you Mexican? Why are you Mexican, right? And she actually couldn't. She couldn't get it. Actually, you know what? It was so funny. It was so. It was hilarious, man. And I just told her, well, yeah, I mean, I'm from Mexico. I've been living here for about 6 months now, and yeah, I learned English like just watching TV shows, American TV shows. Maybe that's why my accent is American. But then again, here we have some Americans in the chat that do not agree. They do not agree with me, right? So, I don't know. It says here, says what? I really love the way that South Americans speak. I'm enhancing my English because of that, but one of my friends told me that's gonna make me sound unintelligent. What? You what, mate? So sorry, I didn't get that at all. Like I'm enhancing my English. That sounds so. That's a really forced sentence, I would say. So, do we have any native speakers here? Is this enhancing my English thing? Is that like a normal thing to say? Because it sounds really weird for me. Yeah. Is it worth it talking to myself to improve my English? I mean, when you're a little shy, I certainly did that. Not for my English, but for my Japanese and for my French. I talk to me all the time. So yeah. And by the way, I'm trying to not. I'm improving my exactly, right, like improving my English. That sounds way better. By the way, guys, have you liked the stream yet? Have you liked the stream? If not, please give it a like. Thank you very much. Your throat hurts a little, just a little, but as I said before, I'm well, some people are telling me that my English is very nasal still, but you have no idea how nasal it actually was. Like 2 years ago, 1 year ago. It was so nasal that I couldn't actually hold my speaking pattern for about like more than 20 minutes. It was so tiring. So yeah, okay. So I think I'm not as nasal as before. Look, I'm actually gonna let me see if I can still do it. I'm going to turn on my old English, like the very nasal one, right? Give me a second. Okay, so I said, so I have three power levels, right? So, so this is me speaking English with no accent. Oh man, it's so relaxing to just talk, and I have to. I know there are no worries. You know, it's just like me speaking English. I have all the accent in the world, but I don't care. It's so relaxing. I love it. So this is me speaking English like normally with no, you know, no accent turned on or anything. Just me talking. Some native speakers, they say I sound better. Okay, I actually would like to believe that because this is so relaxing. It's no problem. I can just talk. I don't feel anything weird in my throat or anything. It's so nice. It's actually very nice. Now that's like power level number 1. But I mean, the chat and Cameron, they would say that I'm like that's the best one, right? Okay, whatever. So now that's the first level, right? This is me speaking English with no accent, nothing, just me talking. That's good. Okay. Now, So like this is me speaking normally. I think this is my normal English nowadays, how I like to talk. It is still a little nasal, but I think it's way less nasal than before. I'm gonna show you in a minute, because I think I can still turn on the old Mr. Silence English. I'll show you in a minute, okay? Just give me a second. But yeah, this is how I normally speak. And I feel a little forced in regards, I mean, like, I feel something in my throat. I feel something like near my, I don't know, like inside my mouth or something. It feels weird at times. Not all the time. It just feel, just at times, right? Now, let me turn on my old English, right? The one I grew up with, the one I went to university with, and the one I learned with video games and all that stuff, and that I used to impress people, right? To let them know that I was actually really good at English. All right. Let's see. Right. So, all right. Let me see. No. Oh my God, this is so hard. No, I mean, I cannot do it anymore. Give me a second. I think this is it. Wait. Give it. Oh man, you're gonna love this. All right. So, yeah. So this is my old English. So as you can probably tell, I'm trying to say every single word from my throat only, which is like very tiring. It's so difficult. And oh man, oh my God, this sucks. Wow. I cannot believe I used this voice for like 20 years. That sucks. It's so hard to do. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. I actually had never realized just how weird it feels. But yeah, I mean, now some people would tell you, oh wow, that sounds so much better than before. And you know what? I think a lot of people who are not very good at English, they would probably agree with you. But yeah, this is the voice I used to have a long time ago. So as you can probably tell, it's like very, very, it's very nasal, right? And every single word, every single like sound is coming from my deep inside my throat. So it's really hard to keep up. I don't think I can do it anymore. You know what? It's really hard. Yeah. Yeah. So you need to what? To get more power to do that accent. Yeah, I think it's. I mean, look. Some people say like that sounds much better. That sounds better. That says yeah. I think I can fool a lot of people. I remember. I used to do this accent a lot when I was like 22, 23 years old. And I even fooled some native speakers in thinking that I was native. You know what? So yeah, I don't know. Or maybe they were just being really nice with me. But yeah, I mean, there's no way I can do this anymore. In order to actually sound better, I need to like kind of shout. I cannot speak like this. There's no way. I need the air to be able to flow. So yeah, that accent sounds strange to me. It is. It is strange. It is like the accent I used to do before. But now this is more like what I do now. Oh my God, that's so much better. That's so nicer. And by the way, so so this is my normal accent now. Okay, this is what I do. You can still hear some throat sounds in there, like going a little weird, but it feels so much easier. I don't feel like forced to do the throat thingy anymore. And you know what? I was able to learn this with Elsa Speak. And no, they are not giving me a sponsor for this video, but I swear that's how I did it. I actually did a lot of like, is this person using the throat or not? Is that person only using like a little part of his mouth or what? So like little by little, I was able to realize, I don't need to use my throat every single time, just certain sounds, right? That's about it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And but yeah. So that's I don't know. I think I'm really good at English in general, but you know what? I just had an idea. I just had the greatest idea. I should probably make oh my God, this is gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. I'm gonna make a video when like entirely in English with subtitles. But like one of the videos, it's going to be like me using like the like no accent at all, the one that people are telling me it's better. and just like have that video in my channel, yeah, just to see what people say. And maybe I can guarantee you'll see a lot of people saying, wow, is that Mr. Salas's English? Ugh, I thought he knew English. I thought he was very advanced. I thought he was really good. Because you'll see people judge you by your accent a lot in Mexico. I'm talking about Mexico, right? I don't know about the rest of Latin America or Spain, but Mexico, 100% they'll judge you by your accent alone, right? So I should have a video, me speaking English with no accent, right? Just like, okay, guys, so in today's video, we're going to learn about comprehensible input. And now, okay, first of all, you know what? Comprehensible input is the best thing you can do. Do not spend $500 on Cal Leander's course. That's really stupid. Don't do that, you know? Like, and just make a video about that. That would probably be really good, right? So I can probably do that accent, right, for that video. So basically no accent. And then I can make another video with my normal accent, the one you're listening to right now. And just see, you know, just to see what people think. Because I bet $100 that people will say, wow, his English sucks. I can guarantee you that. 100%, because people are so judgmental in regards to your accent in Mexico. So yeah, I can guarantee that. And you know what? And then I can make a third video talking about the experiment. How I was doing it. I was doing everything on purpose, right? And yeah, ooh man, yes. I'm gonna write that up. Give me a second. I need to write this because that's a really good idea. I think for 3 videos in the channel. I think it's gonna be really, 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 really interesting. Let me see. Okay. Video con acento, sin acento y comparación. Inglés. Okay. Done. Perfect. Yes. The people in the US will think your accent is good and you'll expand your audience. But yeah, thank you. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. That's gonna be really interesting. That's gonna be really, really interesting, right? Because it's gonna be so funny. Like all the native speakers telling me, "Wow, your English is really good" in a non-accented video, and then every single Mexican will be like, "Wow, your accent is amazing, my man." Whenever I'm doing like the nasal one, yeah, I think. Yeah. I think that's gonna be yeah. Oh, but boy, now I'm excited to make that video. It's gonna be so fun. It's gonna be so fun. Probably have no views at all. Probably no views, but just the the idea of experimenting with that's yeah. Sounds fun. Sounds like fun. All right. So how about the course, about test prep? Oh yeah, I mean, I'm still writing those up, Andy. So I mean, I'm writing the course. Then I need to record it, and then I need to decide how I'm going to sell it. But that's in the future, man. Like, give me 1 or 2 months to do all that stuff. I'm really busy right now. I'm very, very, very motivated. I'm doing a lot of different stuff now. I rediscovered all this time I thought I didn't have, and I'm doing a bunch of stuff that I think you're gonna like, actually. Says here, so a part of learning the pronunciation properly, it would be great if we learn how to read of our accents. I don't think that's important. You know what? I really believe that not having an accent is really overrated. I mean, literally nobody cares. The only people that care about your accent in a foreign language are people from the country you're originally from. That's it. I haven't met a single American or British or Australian or how do you call New Zealander? Is that a thing? It isn't, right? Whatever. So I haven't met a single one that was like, oh God, your accent is so not native like. My God, right? I mean, I haven't met a single one. Okay, so I think nobody cares. Like literally nobody cares. The only person who cares is probably you, and that annoying friend that you have that says like, "Oh my god, your accent is so bad." You know, but nobody actually cares, in my opinion. Okay. Says here, bro, it's very hard not to have an accent. When I live here in America, where I live here in America, all of my co-workers are from different countries, and we all have accents. Yeah, of course. And I think that's the beauty of languages. You know, like you can tell where a person is from when you're listening to them. I don't know. I think that's so cool. Like the spin that your accent gives to the language is so nice. So erasing your accent, I don't know if that's good. I don't know if that's something I would like. I mean, actually, I get that comment a lot whenever I speak Spanish. So for example, like I'm a native Spanish speaker, right? So I'm from a state in Mexico called Veracruz. I don't know if you know it, but it's by the coast, right? It's like next to the Gulf of Mexico, basically. So in that particular state, in the city I was born in, we have a very specific accent, you know? And I can still do the accent, but I don't know, like, as I moved whenever I was like 22 or 23, 22, I think. And I have learned many languages after that. So I think I never actually went. I think my accent just got erased. Yeah. Bueno, ustedes ya me han escuchado hablar español. So sorry, I'll ask for permission to speak Spanish now. So this is me speaking Spanish, right? Look, listen to me. I'm so good at it. Entonces, soy yo hablando español, ¿no? Y cuando hablo español, pues esta es la manera en la que yo hablo normalmente el día de hoy. De hecho, muchas personas, y díganme si ustedes están de acuerdo, porque muchas personas a mí me dicen que tengo acento de doblaje de anime latino. Que tengo voz como muy sanitizada. ¿Sí me entienden? Como que nadie podría reconocer fácilmente de dónde soy. Algo así me dicen, ¿ok? Es lo que me dicen. Entonces, y es chistoso porque yo soy como les decía, soy de Veracruz. Y entonces, en Veracruz, la gente tiene un acento muy particular. No, creo que nunca hablé así como súper marcado el acento de Veracruz. Pero sí, por ejemplo, ¿qué será? La gente así de Veracruz, pues así, ¿no? Como que la gente habla así en Veracruz. Y pues yo lo puedo escuchar y lo puedo hacer, pero pues no, a mí no me gusta mucho hablar de esa manera porque está medio raro, ¿no? Y pues sí, tengo mucha familia que habla así. Y pues tengo la gente así como de la costa, como que habla muy rápido la gente ahí. Entonces, como que sí lo puede hacer la gente, ¿no? Pues sí, nomás. Entonces, so that's like kind of the accent we have there, kind of, right? And yeah, I don't know. So I am from Veracruz, so yeah, I can do the accent, right? I have heard the accent a lot whenever I was living there, and yeah, sure, but yeah, so it's really funny, right? Yeah. So I don't know what happened to my I don't know what happened to my Spanish. I think my Spanish just got like very sanitized as I went through like my like me learning other languages, right? Yeah, that's it. Hablaste como chileno? Oh man, you would be surprised. I think a lot of Chilean, how do you say that in English? Muchos chilenos se sorprenderían de que quizá puedan entender a la gente de Veracruz porque sí hablan así un poquito, ¿eh? ¿Por qué tartamudeas al hablar inglés y no al hablar español? Ha, that's so funny to hear. So, voy a contestar eso en español, nada más porque creo que es muy importante. Yo soy un tartamudo funcional. Nunca pude superar mi tartamudez. De hecho, ahora que lo pienso, creo que de ahí viene. Yo no sé si se den cuenta que cuando estoy hablando español, intento no hacer muchas pausas. No, casi nunca le meto el o algo así, porque si no empiezo a tartamudear y me pasa muchísimo. Entonces, es chistoso
porque por muchos años yo me costaba muchísimo trabajo hablar en español porque tartamudeaba demasiado. Pero cuando empecé a hablar inglés, no tartamudeaba nada en inglés. Y ahora tartamudeo en inglés y en español. O sea, en vez de solucionar uno, simplemente alargué el problema a los dos y ya. Y sí, no sé, la verdad que no tengo idea de por qué pasa eso. Pero sí, bruh. Sí, exactamente. No sé. Y pues ni modo. O sea, yo sí tartamudeo bastante, pero es algo que tengo que controlar. Tengo que estar muy consciente de que estoy hablando para no tartamudear. Y nunca pude solucionar ese problema realmente. Yeah. So, well, I don't hear you like a dub actor. Okay, well, thank you. I don't know if that was a compliment or not. I'll just believe it was. I'll just try to. Yeah, I'll just take that as a compliment, Tomiko. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. But yeah. So, what were we saying? Says here, I was trying to imitate the South American accent, and damn, that was difficult to imitate. I mean, we can barely understand the accent, so yeah, sure. Hey, thank you very much, Jesus. He says, hi, I dropped uni. I'm enjoying my current job. Is it worth seeking the degree considering I wouldn't make much more money? No. That's my opinion. No. I mean, to be honest with you, I will never study a master's degree. I will never study a PhD. I think unless you're trying to specialize in science or something like very, very, very specific, like medicine, for instance, I think those are a waste of time. Especially for English. Like for my degree, it's not worth it at all. So I believe that you can do something that you're really good at. I think having your normal degree is really important, especially in Latin America, because it says, oh, this guy went to uni, right? I think that's a given that you need to have. But apart from that, I believe that going to the masters and PhD, I think that's like for people who want to be eternal students. And I don't want to study forever. I want to be my own boss. I want to have my own company. I want to do things on my own. And I think, oh man, I think I'm too based now, but I believe university teaches you how to be an employee, not an employer. And that's my problem with the university, right? That's it. Okay. So, I mean, I went to university. I finished my university. I got my degree. I got a really good grade. And after that, I said, all right, you know what? No more of this. I actually tried to go to a master's once. I really tried. It was so interesting. It was a translation and interpretation masters with German and English. Wow, super cool, right? But I realized that I knew more than most of my teachers, and that was like very discouraging. I was like, wow, why do I know more than them? So I mean, that actually didn't sit well with me. Yeah. But yeah, I believe that I also remember very, very, very vividly that back then I was working in a company. I was doing translations and I was interpreting German, Spanish, and English, right? I mean, my German was so bad at that time that it was pretty much a joke, right? But I remember I used to be, I was working like with those three languages, right? So I remember the person in charge of the company. He told me, "Hey, you know what, Mr. Salas, we need you to be here this whole week because we have people from the Volkswagen
they are coming to visit, and we need a person helping us with English or German, whatever. So please stay with us for a whole week. Don't go home. You can sleep here, whatever, right? And then I was like, but I have a master's degree, and my master's was on Friday and Saturday. Okay, and so I told him, you know what? Sorry, I cannot make it. I have a master's, so I need to go to class. Sorry about that. And he told me something that changed my perspective on things. He told me, his name was Willem, by the way, and Willem told me, he was from Norway, I believe. He told me, wait, what are you studying? What's your master's about? And I told him, well, it's about translation and interpretation. And he goes, so you're studying what you're doing right now? And I was like, huh, that's a fair point. Why am I studying a master's about something I'm working in right now? What the hell? And he told me, well, I mean, why are you like saying no to my proposal of work in order to study, since you want to work when you finish studying, right? You're working right now. And I was like, huh, that's a really good point. And I remember that day I told my teacher at uni, I told him, you know what, I'm not coming this week. And after that, I quit my master's and I kept working there. And I probably know more than a lot of my classmates now, because I actually had experience, you know, like being there. So yeah, that taught me a really valuable lesson. I was about to say no to a job opportunity and earning money to go and study to eventually have an opportunity and earn money doing that. You know what? You know, so that's a little weird, isn't it? That was a little weird. So yeah, I don't know. It says here, hello, Mr. Salas. What do you recommend to continue with my language learning? I have a B1, B2 level in English. I should continue with ANKI. I will never stop using ANKI. I think it's really useful, but you should probably just consume more media, and probably at a B2 level, get some grammar in. I think grammar would be really helpful at that stage that you're in. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay, guys. So I think we've been talking in English for about 1 hour now, right? It's been 1 hour and 12 minutes actually. So just to finish my stream, we're gonna switch back to Spanish. Okay. Vamos a ir ahora a español y vamos a contestar algunas preguntas. ¿Qué les parecen? ¿Ok? Nada más que me dejan, por favor, un like para tener 12 likes. ¿Qué les parece? Perdón, 12 likes. No, esperen. No los quiten. Para tener 400 likes. Es que me faltaban 12 para 400. Muchas gracias. Ok. Entonces, ya me puedo relajar un poquito, ¿verdad? No, pero sí, definitivamente yo siento que ya me es mucho más fácil hablar inglés porque ya no lo estoy haciendo tan nasal como antes, entonces me siento mucho mejor. Gracias, chicos, por sus likes, se los agradezco mucho. Entonces, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo les fue entendiendo el directo? Todo el directo, estuvimos hablando 1 hora, y entonces ya tengo gente a la que puedo redirigir, ¿no? Ya ven cuando me han acusado ahí de repente, no, tú no hablas inglés y no sé qué. Bueno, ahora ya tengo un video de 1 hora hablando en inglés con todos ustedes. Espero que con esto sea suficiente, ¿verdad? Dice por acá Juan, ¿crees que tu acento y nivel mejoraría si vivieras en Estados Unidos? 100%, Juan. Sí. Sí, porque me acuerdo cuando viví en Londres, estuve nada más un poquito menos de 1 año. Me acuerdo que estuve ahí y sí, o sea, sí me acuerdo que de repente yo escuchaba University. And I spoke like a person who's from Britain, right? Right. I said Harry Potter, water, bottle of water, perfect. That sounds perfect. Let's do that, right? Entonces como que empezaba como a tener el acento British, right. Pero sí. Entonces fue como muy interesante. Entonces yo siento que quizá si viviera en Estados Unidos, los fonemas del inglés
tendrían más sentido y sería mucho más fácil. Sí, ¿de verdad se te pegó? O sea, no es que se me pegara, Nico, sino, yo no diría que se me pegó, sino que como me gustaba y vivía rodeado de ese acento, lo empecé como a asimilar, ¿me entiendes? Ah, de hecho, ¿saben qué? Ni siquiera, no me crean a mí. Por qué no escuchan a Mr. Salas cuando tenía acento británico? Bueno, acento británico español, claro, porque qué bueno que tengo un video al respecto. Grabé un video sobre el COVID. Aquí está. Fue el tercer video que subí en mi canal de YouTube. Por cierto, para los que no sepan, nunca he borrado ni un video de los que hay en mi canal de YouTube. Así, están ahí los del comienzo, siguen ahí desde el inicio. Entonces, mira. La gente que me dice que no iba a hablar español, chicos, llegaron 1 hora 15 minutos tarde. Ya dije que vamos a hablar, estuvimos hablando 1 hora 15 minutos inglés y ahora vamos a terminar el directo con algunas preguntas y eso que me hagan. Miren, ese video que les pasé ahí, soy yo hablando en inglés después de estar en Reino Unido como por 7 meses aproximadamente. Y si me escuchan hablar inglés en ese video, se darán cuenta que sí tengo como un dejo ahí como de acento británico, porque estuve mucho tiempo conviviendo con gente de Reino Unido. Entonces, chequen ese video, chequenlo y creo que les va a dar mucha risa escucharme ahí. Suenas muy diferente, sí, suena muy diferente. También, obviamente, en ese entonces, por ejemplo, tampoco subía mucho mi voz, no tenía canas en mi barba, tenía cabello, sí, muchas cosas eran distintas en ese entonces. Pero sí suena un tanto distinto, la verdad. Así. Pero bueno. Entonces ahí les dejo mi. Ay, perdón. Ahí les dejo el videito para que lo chequen, ¿va? ¿A poco hablas español? Sí, un poquito. Ya estoy aprendiendo español. Creo que soy como un nivel B2, C1 en español. Así es. Dicen por acá, Samuel, ¿qué piensas que para mejorar mi inglés, trabajar en plataformas como Cambly, Magic Ears y Native Camp? No conozco ninguna de esas más que Cambly, pero creo que trabajar así como hablar en el idioma sí te va a servir si lo haces de diario, por supuesto. Por cierto, no les he pedido, pero si les gusta este tipo de contenido, háganmelo saber. Pueden compartir este directo. Recuerden que este directo se va a quedar aquí después. Se va a quedar aquí completamente. Ahí lo van a poder checar cuando ustedes quieran. Pueden compartirlo, pueden darle like. Si quieren mandar un super chat o algo así para que yo conteste su pregunta, también pueden hacerlo. Se pueden volver miembros del canal. Cualquier cosa me ayuda a darme cuenta que les está gustando esto y podemos hacerlo más seguido. Ya ven que ahora tengo como objetivo hacer estos directos 2 veces a la semana. Creo que va a ser entretenido. Va a ser un poco más de trabajo de mi parte, pero me gusta mucho hablar con ustedes y siento que ya eso de tenerlo 1 vez al mes, como que ya no me estaba gustando. Me gusta que sea como un poquito más seguido y me gusta hablar como de lo que estoy haciendo, de lo que quiero hacer, de qué me mantiene motivado, etcétera. Y así también les puedo ir dando chismes, como el chisme que les dije el año pasado, el pasado, perdón, es que soy apenas B2 en español. El directo pasado, que les dije que estaba haciendo como un curso sobre certificaciones del idioma, espérenlo pronto. Hey, Tuma, muchísimas gracias. Dice, mis horarios de estudio son muy malos. Siempre hago ANKI, Busu, Input y más muy tarde porque me da flojera hacerlo temprano. ¿Algún consejo? Fíjate, Tuma, que a mí me pasa lo mismo. Y yo justamente para resolver eso, tengo que estudiar en la mañana. En la mañana es cuando soy como más, ¿cómo te digo? Como más eficiente al momento de estudiar. Y lo que hago es que todo lo que requiere concentrarse como Anki, Busu, etcétera, o incluso Italki, cuando llego a usarlo para hablar, lo hago en la mañana y en la noche es cuando consumo mi contenido. De esa manera, haz de cuenta como que tengo 2 sesiones de estudio, una en la mañana que es como estudiar y ya acabé, listo, voy al gimnasio, me relajo un poco, regreso, hago otra cosa, etcétera, y luego en la noche me pongo a consumir el contenido. Entonces, así es como yo divido mi día, porque es como mejor me funciona. Entonces, no sé si eso te ayude a ti también, ¿no? Ok. Dicen por acá, Villain Ortiz. No, William, perdón. Mr. Salas, teniendo un nivel B1, B2, ¿recomiendas utilizar apps de vocabulario o es mejor enfocar todo el tiempo a input? Mira, yo le dedicaría mucho más tiempo al input y lo complementaría con ANKI o ese tipo de cosas, 100%, sí. Lo que hablaste en inglés, ¿qué nivel crees que fue? Mi nivel de inglés, mi estimado, es C2. O sea, ese es mi nivel de inglés. No pienso discutirlo con nadie, porque literalmente tengo 2 papeles que me dicen que soy nivel C2 y los tengo desde 2011 y 2014 o 15, ya ni me acuerdo. Pero tiene años, o sea que si era nivel C2 hace 13 años, aún soy nivel C2 hoy en día. Eso, y no me da miedo, puedo hacer un examen de certificación el día que sea y lo voy a pasar con C2. Eso te lo puedo asegurar. Más que nada porque pues ya sé pasar exámenes de certificación, ¿verdad? Soy profesor de inglés, entonces gramática de inglés la tengo súper memorizada. Mucho más que la del español, de hecho, chistosamente. Dice por acá... ¿quién? Unión, dice Mr. Salas, yo para aprender inglés empecé primero por YouTube, pero debido a que quise ver pelis y casi no entiendo nada, hago primero subtítulos, repito y sin sub. Sí, eso es bueno, sí, como que, ajá, porque si tú quieres entender, tienes que hacer eso, no puedes nada más consumir de manera pasiva, tienes que estar consumiendo el contenido como poniendo los subtítulos, luego se los quitas y... el chiste aquí es que si van a utilizar subtítulos, no los usen siempre, porque si no van a acostumbrar a su cerebrito a hacer el menor esfuerzo posible y entonces ahí es cuando entran los problemas, porque cuando le quitas de repente, digamos que estudias 6 meses y luego se te ocurre quitarle los subtítulos, adiós, ya no vas a entender nada por haber estado nada más usando los subtítulos, entonces te vas a acostumbrar a leer más que escuchar. Dice por acá, si tuvieras que aprender inglés desde cero con todo lo que sabes ahora, ¿cuánto tiempo crees que te llevaría a alcanzar tu nivel actual? Mi nivel actual, 3 años mínimo. Estoy seguro. Yo ya les dije, chicos, yo no soy bueno aprendiendo idiomas. O sea, no tengo un talento que me haga bueno aprendiendo idiomas. Simplemente soy muy dedicado. O sea, estudio todos los días japonés. Y sí, avanzo bien lento. He visto videos en YouTube de gente que la verdad los he visto y me ha desmotivado un buen. Me acuerdo que vi un video de alguien que sí aprendió japonés en 1 año y 3 meses, creo, de 0 a pasar el nivel N1. N1. Y yo así de, Dios mío, yo llevo 1 año y medio y no creo que ni siquiera podría pasar el N2. O sea, el N3 a lo mejor estudiando un poquito ahorita lo podría pasar, pero el N2 jamás. Entonces sí, como que veo esos videos y sí me desmotivo bastante, ¿no? Porque no soy bueno aprendiendo idiomas. Simplemente tengo que... Y debido a que yo sé que no tengo un talento, no soy muy inteligente, tengo que hacer el doble, el triple de esfuerzo a lo mejor que una persona que se le hace fácil. Pero eso es lo que... Creo que esa es mi ventaja más que desventaja, ¿me entienden? Porque soy más disciplinado, sé que no puedo estar un día sin estudiar porque, ¡pum!, se me va todo. O sea, les juro, chicos, soy de esos que está estudiando en ANKI y le doy a una tarjeta que no la sé como 30 veces seguidas. O sea, así, estoy mal. Sí, o sea, esto ya no funciona bien. ¿Ok? Que quizá fue por jugar tanto World of Warcraft. Quizá por tanto videojuego ya se me atrofió un poco. Pero sí, o sea, así soy. De estarle que no, hasta que, ya me acordé, pum, ya me acordé, ¿no? Así pasa. Entonces no soy muy bueno aprendiendo idiomas, pero los aprendo. Es por eso que cuando yo les digo aquí en el canal, cualquiera puede aprender un idioma, y es que yo lo sé porque si yo puedo aprender un idioma, estoy seguro que casi cualquiera puede aprender un idioma. O sea, de verdad que sí. Yo digo que mucha gente se derrota muy fácil antes de siquiera intentarlo. ¿Ok? Eso es todo. Dice por acá, Laos, I don't understand Spanish. Speak in English, please. Well, I'm so sorry. Like, the English part of the video is over. We have been talking here for about an hour and an hour and 23 minutes. So we're just speaking in Spanish for now because we have I would like to answer some questions in Spanish, right? That's it. Dice por acá, Tim, que a mí me desmotivan los malos comentarios que hace mi familia. Trato de ignorarlos, pero a veces no puedo. Mira, la familia siempre es lo mismo. Yo también vengo de una familia que pues realmente no les interesa muchísimo el idioma. Y alguna vez pues no recibí comentarios malos, sino que no había apoyo más bien para los idiomas, ¿me entiendes? Entonces, no sé, no siento que tienes que volverte un poco... Bueno, es que es fácil para mí decirlo, ¿sabes? Porque, por ejemplo, yo ya me acostumbré a recibir hate de diario, o sea, todos los días leo algún comentario negativo sobre mi persona, ya sea en Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, etcétera, ¿no? Siempre encuentro algún comentario negativo sobre mí mismo. Aquí el truco, y esto no sé si les funciona a ustedes, pero les doy un tip. Si leen un comentario malo que les hace alguien, tienen que leerlo no con su propia voz. Eso es lo que me ayudó muchísimo a mí, porque cuando yo estaba empezando en esto de la creación de contenido, por ahí de 2020, sí, o sea, de repente había gente que llega y te insulta, ¿no? Porque no tienen nada que hacer. Viven una vida muy triste, entonces tienen como que desquitarse con alguien más, ¿no? Y entonces te escriben algo feo. Y si tú lo lees con tu propia voz, siento que se vuelve algo que te estás diciendo a ti mismo, ¿sí me entiendes? Así que lo que hago ahora es que cuando veo un comentario estúpido, lo leo como con voz de estúpido. ¿Sí? A ver, vamos a entrar a Instagram. Seguro que me encuentro alguno ahorita, ¿no? Aunque en TikTok luego es más fácil. A ver, vamos a ver. ¿Qué comentario sonso tengo aquí el día de hoy? Vamos a ver. Oye, no, creo que no. No he tenido nada. Bueno, TikTok. Ese sí no decepciona, de seguro. A ver, vamos a ver. TikTok. En TikTok. Por cierto, ya me siguen en las dos. Soy Mr. Salas Here en ambas plataformas. A ver, denme un momentito. No sé si me sigan o no, pero les paso ahí por si me quieren seguir. Mira, les doy Mr. Salas Here. Así me pueden encontrar en ambas plataformas, ¿va? Pero sí, no. No lo lean con su mente, Tomiko, porque si lo lees con la mente, estás leyéndolo aún con tu voz, porque ya ves que todos tenemos nuestra propia voz en la mente. Entonces, no. La idea es leerlo como lo que es, como una estupidez. A ver, déjame ver algo aquí. Mira, A ver, vamos a ver. Vamos a ver. Busquemos algún comentario estúpido. Mira, por ejemplo, ya ven el video en el que estoy analizando el inglés de la política esta, ¿no? Aquí en México. Bueno, alguien me puso aquí. La manera que lo dijo está correcta, que no. Insisto, una persona que no sabe inglés intentando decir que no. Y no es raro porque se refirió a la gente en plural. Compa, usted le pone mucha crema a sus tacos y luego pone plan C, Dios mío. Entonces, lo que hay que hacer aquí, hay que... Oh, Dios mío, miren. Hay que leerlo así. Mira, aquí me pusieron otro comentario estúpido. Y hay que leerlo como de, ay, no suena raro, no es su lengua materna, lo está haciendo bien, está haciendo algo. ¿Y tú? Tienes que leerlo así como idiota, porque si no, te empiezas como a creer esas cosas porque te las estás como diciendo a ti mismo. Y bueno, no, he recibido un buen... intenté encontrar algunos sin groserías, porque casi siempre te insultan, ¿no? Entonces, nada más hagan la voz así como estúpido. Y ya, eso es lo que les recomiendo. Entonces, igual, por ejemplo, obviamente, si estás con tu familia y tu familia te hace una voz así como tonta, entonces, por favor, no vayan a remedar a su familia, ¿no? Como te dicen, hijo, deberías estudiar algo de verdad. Eso del inglés es una tontería. No vas a decir, hijo, deberías estudiar. No, o sea, obviamente no van a hacer eso, ¿verdad? O sea, simplemente tienen que ser empáticos con su familia, en mi opinión. O sea, muchas veces tu familia te quiere dar como una lección porque crecieron en los 60, 70, 80, ¿no? Y pues obviamente son cosas que ya no aplica, ¿verdad? Entonces, como ya no aplica el día de hoy, pues ellos no saben. Entonces tienes que ser un poquito empático con la idea de que te quieren ayudar, aunque no saben cómo ayudarte realmente, ¿no? Entonces es nada más cosa de, así como de... Por ejemplo, no sé si muchos sepan, no me gusta decir esto en público, pero somos poquitas personas aquí. Por ejemplo, yo no soy religioso, ¿no? No soy religioso desde los como 15 años aproximadamente. Entonces, yo me acuerdo que cuando era joven, cuando tenía como 20, 21 años, menos, como 18, 20 años, si alguien me decía, Dios te bendiga o rezaré por ti, yo decía, ¿qué vas a rezar por mí si Dios no existe? Así, ¿no? Ya sabes, ¿no? Como el típico. Entonces, eso es como ridículo, ¿no? Es como nada más... la otra persona no te lo está diciendo para insultarte porque tú no crees en algo. Simplemente está intentando ser amable, ¿no? O sea, entonces, como, como que me tardé mucho tiempo en entenderlo, como a los 25, 26 ya dejé de como decir a la gente, oh, pero Dios no existe, bro, ¿no? O sea, ya como que le bajé a eso. Y entonces me di cuenta, ¿no? Que la gente que te dice, bueno, aunque tú no creas, voy a rezar por ti, te lo dicen de buena manera. Entonces, no, simplemente le dices gracias. Y ya. Y siento que esto puede aplicar mucho también con la familia. Si te dicen algo que es muy tonto, por ejemplo, no sé, ¿qué tontería? Por ejemplo, el clásico, ¿no? De alguien que no ha viajado. Te dice, oye, tienes que llevar efectivo porque tienes que llevar puro efectivo porque nunca sabes dónde vas a poder encontrar para pagar con tarjeta o algo así, ¿no? Y no sé, y estás yendo a Japón o algo así, ¿no? Entonces es como, bueno, nada más le dices, gracias por el consejo. Y ya, eso es todo. O sea, no hace falta ser como grosero, sentirse mal. Igual cuando alguien me dice algo feo en el canal, te digo, para empezar, lo leo con mi voz de Shaggy, que dicen ustedes, ¡ay, la voz de Shaggy! ¿No? Esa voz así como de estúpido. Pero hay veces que la crítica sí es constructiva, nada más que la persona no sabe cómo no hacerla destructiva, ¿no? Pero usualmente, a veces saco buenas ideas de ahí. Uh-huh. Entonces, chicos, me preguntan por acá que si podrías hacer más directos como este. Sí, de hecho, Thunder, estamos haciendo estos directos. El garantizado todos los martes a las 6 o 7 de la tarde. Siempre va a haber un directo. Y ahorita estoy viendo si lo hacemos también los días viernes o jueves. Aún no me decido, probablemente los jueves. ¿Ok? Eso es todo. Entonces, y obviamente se quedan aquí en el canal por si los quieren ver después. Eso son más que bienvenidos. Muchísimas gracias, Luis Reyes, miembro por 20 meses. Muchísimas gracias, Luis. Dice, ¿qué recomiendas para no dejar una rutina de estudio? La rutina te tiene que gustar y tiene que ser algo que te divierta o que al menos sepas que te está funcionando y por eso no la vas a dejar. Si estás con una rutina, si estás haciendo algo todos los días que te está funcionando, que tú ves resultados, no la vas a querer dejar. Aquí un ejemplo, por ejemplo, el gimnasio. Yo detesto ir al gimnasio. No saben, no tienen ni idea de cómo odio ir al gimnasio, pero me gustan los resultados. Me gusta verme bien y me gusta estar sano. Entonces, pues sí, detesto ir al gimnasio, detesto esperar ahí a hacer cola para poder meterme a una máquina, etcétera. Odio la música del gimnasio. Detesto ver al entrenador ayudando a la chica nalgona en el gimnasio y a mí ignorándome. Sí, todo eso es muy molesto. Pero prefiero tengo que pasar por eso y simplemente me siento mejor en todo aspecto, ¿no? Entonces, eso es lo importante. ¿Sí me entienden? ¿Ok? Entonces, mientras tú sepas que estás haciendo algo por un bien mejor, creo que todo está súper cool. ¿Sí me entienden, no? Eso es todo. ¿Subiste un video mientras estabas en directo? Ah, ya ven. Ha de haber sido un short, me imagino. Uno de mis shorts. Could you speak in English? Sure. I mean, I spoke in English for about 1 hour before, but hey, here, this is me speaking English now. There you go. Yay, I'm speaking in English. Good. ¿Qué opinas de japonés de Math vs. Japan? Me impresiona muchísimo, Tyler. El japonés de Math vs. Japan es algo que envidio como no tienes idea. Él mismo ha dicho que le tomó años de su vida poder hablar japonés a ese nivel. Y pues creo que me gustaría hablar japonés. No estoy tan obsesionado como él en sonar como nativo. Nada más quiero que poder disfrutar de una conversación de manera natural con un japonés. Creo que con eso me doy por bien servido. No necesito sonar exactamente como un japonés. No es mi objetivo para nada. Mi objetivo con el japonés es más poder hablar en japonés con personas, poder ir a un lugar donde estén jugando cartas y jugar cartas con otras personas en japonés y poder, ¿por qué no? A lo mejor hasta ligar en japonés, ¿no? En una de esas, no lo sé. Ok, eso es todo. Ok. Oigan, chicos, creo que vamos a terminar el directo aquí el día de hoy. Les agradezco mucho. Llevamos 1 hora y media. Ok. Entonces creo que vamos a terminar por aquí. Yo creo que esta semana sí hacemos todavía un directo el jueves. Y recuerden, vamos a estar haciendo este directo todos los martes, garantizado. Y de repente un jueves sí, un jueves no. Ya veremos, él les estará diciendo. Pero por mientras, esperen los días martes y jueves. Martes y jueves vamos a hacer estos directos. Voy a intentar hacerlo así, de esta manera, ¿va? Ok, chicos, entonces cuídense, nos vemos. Tengan un muy buen día. Y nos vemos muy pronto. Cuídense y hasta luego. Hasta luego, chicos. Nos vemos. Gracias. Denle, por cierto, cuando este video se quede ahí, denle un like. No sean malitos, ¿no? Denle un like. Suscríbanse. Pásenlo. Véanlo de nuevo. Les agradezco mucho su apoyo. Cuídense y que tengan un bonito martes. Class dismissed. Hasta luego, chicos. Nos vemos. Buenas noches y bye bye. Cuídense mucho. Adiosito. Bye. Ay, solo hice pequeña mi... Oye, ¿qué pasó aquí? Ah, caray. ¿Por qué? Antes se hacía... ¿No? ¿No? No sé qué pasó, pero bueno, ni modo. Ahí está su escena post créditos, chicos. Ahora sí ya me voy. Cuídense. Nos vemos. Hasta luego. Bye bye. Bye. Cuídense ya. Ahora sí, ya me voy en serio, ¿eh? Ya me voy. Adiós. Adiósito.